Welcome to 10 Minutes, everybody. So today was a crazy hectic day. Had a lot going on at work. Um, Fit a lot into my day today. Um, but one of the most exciting things I did today was I went to a meeting about developing the town of Arcade, or the village of Arcade. And it's so funny because uh, me and my wife, we drive by some of these properties we were talking about. We talk about what we could turn them into and how exciting it would be to do something with them. And I didn't know what I was getting into or anything about how tonight's meeting was going to go. But, like, the town, has um, contracted an architect that puts together, development plans and options. And then also, there was an economic development person there. So between the two of them, he's got the architectural part, the other guy's looking at financials and stuff. And their purpose right now is to go through the process of vetting out ideas that the people in the village think are good ideas or that the village needs. And they ask a lot of really good questions, and it was a really good session. It was about 2 hours. Couple highlights. There wasn't nearly as much participation as there should have been from our community, from our people. I was amongst the youngest people there, and I'm 37 years old. I wish that we could get more participation. Generally, most of the people were, significantly older than even me. So we have to figure out as a society how to get that participation in things like this, to give back and to also influence what's going on. I mean, there was questions about if we should make more commercial areas, if we should make mixed use areas, if we should develop apartment buildings. All of these things that were amazing topics, and they had a really good way of vetting it out. What's important to me? Traffic noise. What's it going to do for the downtown? How do we get our businesses to stay open on the weekends? More like they didn't say it per se, but more like an East Aurora feel, where people actually there's actual use of the village during the weekends. Some of the stats were just amazing. They were saying that 1/3 of the working class actually lives here. That means 2/3 of the working class actually drives into Arcade, New York. I, as a person who rents rental property, I know there's a huge shortage of inventory for people to rent, and there's a huge shortage of inventory for people to buy. So, it was interesting that a lot of the things that came from a previous session pointed towards, building commercial or industrial stuff on some of these sites when we have a true housing issue in this neighborhood. So, one of the properties I actually had sized up already and thought about, trying to figure out how to get investors behind me on it. And it just wasn't the right fit for me. But either way, it was super exciting to be a part of. I hope anybody who's listening to this video gets a little bit of an influence from me to go be a part of some of this stuff. You don't have to be a wild investor or want to take the project on. To the contrary, you should be heard because this is your hometown. This is where you reside. And you should want it to turn into what you want over the next 20, 30, 40 years. I have 3 children that I want to have the option to want to stay in Arcade, and the better we make the village, the better chance I have of them wanting to stay around us. They're going to do whatever their path calls them to do, but it was just a really awesome experience. Met the mayor for the first time. It's interesting. I've never really dealt with the political circles or paying attention to any of that stuff. But it was interesting to hear how questions were answered, how people dealt with things, what people's wants were, either selfishly or for the community. It was a really productive, well-ran event. But again, the biggest thing is just that involvement we need the next generation and the middle generation to take some responsibility for owning what the future looks like and not just living off of what people have done for us. So hopefully this message hits some people. I would like to ask people to try to be a little more involved. I mean, I've been terrible at it myself, so I'm gonna work on it, and I would like other people to. Other than that, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I think if you make it this far in this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would prefer you did. I'm officially gonna have one more video produced than I will have subscribers. So, you know, I think it would be fun to see if we could get to where I am always getting more subscribers than I have videos. I think that would be a fun little game. So if you made it this far, you're interested enough, subscribe. Have a good night.